Good morning, Academy 55 members and everybody else who's watching the recording. David Kahn here on Tuesday, the 14th of October. It's 5 to 8 in the morning, looking at the fortunes of the Academy 55 indicators on the 1 minute time frame with the EUR USD. So we can see a lot of consolidation at the moment. Let's go and have a look at the bigger picture. Take the indicators off for a moment. Go on to the daily time frame. This is the daily time frame. As you can see, we are caught in a sort of zone here. We have imbalance. Now that could be quite significant. Does price want to get down to this imbalance? Well, it will get down to this imbalance eventually. But is it too far away for us at the moment? Probably. But we have imbalance on this candle here. So we will mark that up. As we go to the 4-hourly time frame, tentatively we see a higher highs. We go from there, higher highs. I say tentatively because it's already broken that a little bit. I don't really like them, they're a bit messy, but we got a guide to go for. So we will look to see if there's any lines of significance. And we have a line just about there. Sort of dipped a bit and then it came off there. Also a line where we are now. Very close together, these lines. So I'll do away with the first one really because we don't want too many lines on the chart. We only want the ones that are nearest the field of play. We can even get a bit more speculative with the lines if we go to the hourly time frame. I'd say that one because it bounced off there and it stayed along there. Yeah, so it's just there and also there. Look at 1.15685, and that's where we're going to now. So we'll go to the 5-minute time frame. Put our candles back on and mark up our zones. We have a sell zone here and a buy zone there. Put it back on a minute. Put our indicators back on. And we can see that we could be activating on this buy. So we'll put our MT4 on. Make sure you've got your risk reward in purple, your lot calc in purple. You got the 1%. Well, we've been suffering from low liquidity, but we're going to give it a go and see. Liquidity could be back because we had some major news last night. So we will indeed, I'd like to keep 2.2 pips away at a minimum. But of course, I've got to wait for so we got this buy here. We got a buy alert down here, but we got to wait for the wave to go green, because where price is right now, that is where the stop loss will be. But we got to wait for the trend line and all that good stuff. We're going to give ourselves slightly less win rate chance because we are in between zones. But all this is selling power here. This is why it's going sideways. Taking sell and buy orders. That's why it's going sideways. Let's hope it gets enough buy orders to fill out these imbalances. Then we could have ourselves a buy trade. But we won't wait and see on that. Going to be governed by the trend line going green, etc. Like I say, just here is where we want the stop loss to go, assuming that red wave turns to green. Obviously, this purple line here, the EMA 462, that will be a big barrier for us to get over, because once the 2% will be up here, but we've got imbalances up here, reasons for price to get up this area. That's if it happens like that, of course. Now, we're collecting orders, buy and sell orders. Are they going to be buy orders or sell orders? We could be going even deeper. In which case, down to the sell down here. So let's quickly mark up our options. 2.2 pips away. Two to one there. And yet we have the sell. So the sell will be 2.2 pips away. Off the trend line. And that's what the sell will look like. So this is where the stops will be if we have a buy. Anticipating the red wave turning green, because that's closest to the entry for buy. And yet we got the trend line. If we go down for a sell, the trend line will turn green here, and this will be our sell. Trend line this time is closer to the entry. And all the time we are congregating around the support and resistance line that was drawn up earlier on the hourly, if you remember. So we'll wait and see what happens as far as that's concerned, I guess. I accidentally moved that. No problem. Just go. There we go. Get it back again. Push up button there, look. Right, so let's go back to the RNT4. All the time we are going sideways. Oop. Sudden bit of right, I'm going to lock that in because that's where I want the stop loss to be, assuming that's going to carry on up. Because we're activating off this buy here. But I'm prepared to give it a lot more yet. I want to get above these areas here. So I might have a 3 or 4 pip stop loss even, if it continues on up like that. Activating off that buy. The trend line's just turned green, as you notice. Really like to miss that area there. I'm going to get in now. And as you can see, we still got low liquidity. So what was supposed to be 1% is in actual fact 1.10% because of the low liquidity. This is what we're finding with the trades at the moment. I've just taken it down further because I wanted to get below that green wave. This could be a quick in and out, and if it is, learn my lesson. We're too volatile for the EUR USD at this time. So come back later on today if indeed it does happen like that. It's too volatile. What makes me think that I can come back and get into the trade and the volatility will settle down. It's very volatile. So too volatile for the Academy 55 indicators. So I'll take it on the chin, 1% loss, which is nothing at all, and come back later on today if that is the case. But as you can see, unfortunately, it was the equal high there. We formed equal highs, and it didn't go past that area there. Should have waited. Well, I wish really I got in just past that equal high there to give me a bit more of a confirmation, but it didn't happen. But like I say, we do have a 1% loss. Take it on the chin. Unfortunate, but it's too volatile for the EUR USD at this particular time. Back to trading view, 4.9 stop loss. So I go back to trading view, 4.9 stop loss. Which is there. That's where I am at the moment. Which takes my 2% up to way up to there. Right, I'd like to go on the 5-minute time frame to have a look at the bigger picture. So I take the indicators off, go on the 5-minute. We got imbalance there, so we got reasons for price to get up here, maybe. So I'm going to mark that up. This area here. But I do think I'm out anyway, unfortunately. But if the price had come up to there, then I would have been, because that's in balance there, I would have been thinking about putting my stop loss at least to my break even, but I think I'm out already. Let's go and check. Yes, indeed, I am out. Out of the trade. So, unfortunately, just showing that at this time of day and at this moment, price is too volatile. Although we got low liquidity, we had volatility as well. Two are different things. Low liquidity means there's not much money sloshing around to form those prices, but yet within that low liquidity status, we have volatility. It's going up and down too quickly. Put the indicators back on. And again, we are carrying on taking the orders. It's developed into a stop hunt. And that's what you get with low liquidity. The banks want to make money out of you. So they're encouraging retail traders like us to put orders in one way or the other. And they're taking them. So this could go on for quite a while. Till such time as there's a meaning in the dollar or the euro. So we've lost 1%, which is not a big deal, like I said. Don't wish to take part anymore in this stop hunt. We've lost 1%. Take it on the chin, no big deal. Come back later on, maybe today. Copy link. So I'll put it on my journal that you all have. So I will go to my journal, paste it in here. It's the EUR USD. It's 8 to 9 in the morning. It's Tuesday, the 14th. 14th. It was a buy. Sadly, it lost minus 1%. So I've got to be careful now because I've had 3 minus ones on the trot. So I'm still 2.9% in profit, which is not, well, it's okay. A profit's a profit at the end of the day, but I've got 3 losers. So I want to make even extra confirmations next time. So if I go to trading view again, this is the screenshot of the trade. There we activated off that buy. Unfortunately, got caught in this what we call a stop hunt, collecting orders. We put our stop loss there because that is an order. Price, the bank's going, oh, thank you very much. I'll take that order, and we'll encourage more people to put orders in, and we'll make our money that way. So We gave a little bit back, but we'll take it back later on when the conditions are a little bit better for us. Nice to see so many people on this morning. We have we had a loser, but that's fine. Learned a little bit about the market. I'm going to paper trade this, I think. I'm not wishing to take part, so just oh, there we go, that's what I was looking for. So we want to sell alert, because this is where our buy zone is. Really, ideally, I want price to get below here to prove we're out of this sideways movement, really. May or may not happen, because at the moment they're encouraging retail traders such as us to put in buy or sell orders, and quite happily taking those, the equity for themselves, and continuing along without actually going anywhere. But if a sell alert happens, like there, and that turns red, then we'd want to be in it there. I'm not going to be doing that, because I want personally, I want next time I trade, I want the confirmation of price already being in a sell zone or a buy zone, which is not at the moment, not until it gets down to there and then it's in the buy zone. I want that extra confirmation. So, but I'm quite happy to paper trade this. And right there is where I'd be in the trade. You wait and see, this one will probably win. That's the way it's going for me at the moment. But hey ho. But like I say, I'm quite happy to paper trade this. Because I haven't got no confirmation of being in a buy or a sell zone. And because of what happened earlier on, I'm quite happy to paper trade this. And see what happens. Already determined there's a fair amount of volatility around. So let's watch what happens. Yeah, and indeed I would have been out. It's too volatile. Too volatile for we've got imbalance up here, look. And also we've got the support and resistance line. We might be going back to that again. It's just too volatile to play at the moment. Too excitable. Too many things. Too volatile. So we got a strange situation. Although we've proven we got low liquidity, within that low liquidity, we've also got volatility. And all the ingredients of why you shouldn't trade, really. But at the end of the day, we only lost 1%. I'll take that away now, because that means nothing now, because we're not in the trade. I'll take that away, because we certainly didn't take that trade. So I'm going to quickly open the chat. If anybody's got any questions about what they've seen today, please let me know. Possibly come back. I possibly will come back, depending on my lifestyle. Come back at 2:30 this afternoon for the US 100, which is becoming my go-to in case things don't work out like they have done this morning. But we've seen low liquidity because it went to 1.10% or even more. And that's a sign of low liquidity. We've seen volatility because it went up and went down really, really quickly. So we've seen all that. And yet I want so for the next trade, you want a confirmation of going into a buy zone or a sell zone. And yet all the time we are seeing all this. Raj says, when you trade at 230 US 100, I'm having problems with the way it spikes up and down extremely quickly, but somehow you get your 2%. Any tips? Let's just explore that a minute. Okay, so let's go to on the US 100 now, also known as the NAS 100. Let's go on the 5-minute time frame. Let's take the indicators off. Let's go on the calendar. 13th, Monday the 13th, 2:30. No, not 2:30 in the morning. 14:30. There. And here we are. As you can see, I've got it marked up there. So let's go and put the time machine at 14:30. Put it at sorry, 1 minute time frame. Put our indicators back on. Right, so at 14:28, 2 minutes before 2:30, we had a sell signal. This is where you want your stop loss, keeping 2,000 units, which is equivalent to 2 pips, down to there. We're not in the trade yet because there is past 14:29. I'm going to play a little slower. So I wouldn't be tempted into the trade yet because 14:29, I've seen it go the other way, but we've got a sell. So let's play it on. This is where you get in at 2:30. You know the volume's kicked in. Price went all the way down to here, look, and all the way up there. and that's the volume kicking in at 230, and and there's where your stop loss is, because it's equal with the green wave meeting the red. And down we go. So any tips? I don't understand. Yeah, just trust the process, Raj, really, and make sure your stop loss is in the correct place. You keep a minimum of 2,000 units away, which is there, look, and trust the process. So that's all I can say, really. Here's Steve with a message of how to set your trade assistant up properly.
Hi, this is Steve, and in this short video I'm going to just show you the settings for the Trade Assistant to make sure that you've got the minimum 2 pip stop loss on the Euro USD or any currency pair, and how you set it for if you're trading a commodity like the US 100, because the settings are slightly different. So here you can see we're on the Euro USD chart here. I've got my risk to reward on the Trade Assistant locked at 2 to 1. I've got my risk balance at 1%. Lot calculator is on, and my little purple button here between the buy and sell is also activated. So we're ready to bring the Trade Assistant onto the chart. Now you'll notice here that we've got the stop loss set at 20. That indicates 2 pips when you're on a currency pair. And we can actually change that here by typing over it. So if I type in there 40 and just tab off here, you can see now we've got a stop loss of 4 pips because we're on a currency pair. In this example it's Euro USD, but it could be Euro GBP or any currency pair. So let's just put that back to 20 for our 2 pips. We'll click off here, and now we'll just put the lines on so that you can see that is showing us 2 pips over here on the actual tool, ready to actually get involved with a trade if that's what we were going to do. But that's not what we're here for now. I'm going to click off the lines here, and what we're going to do is we're going to change our chart from Euro USD to US 100. And I can do that by dragging it onto the screen here. You'll see it now switch over to US 100. And now you can see that stop loss says 20, and that's wrong for a commodity. So what we want to do here is come in here and type 2000. This is the equivalent of 2 pips on a commodity such as US 100. So now when I put the lines on, you'll see we've got the number 2000 here, and if I just zoom around, you'll notice the 2 to 1 still applies, 2000 and 4000 here, where we've got a $1,000 trade in place, risking $1,000 to win $2,000. So that's the number that you need to get your 2 pip minimum on. So the minimum number would be 2000. You could have anything above that if you're on a commodity like US 100, and the number will be 20, which is 2 pips equivalent if you're on a currency pair such as Euro USD. Hopefully you found this useful, and thanks very much for watching.
There we go. Thank you very much, Steve. So that's the NAS 100. Yeah, make sure you've got a minimum of 2,000 units between stop loss and entry, because the volatility, because of the volume, as you can see with this trade here, that went an awful lot of pips. sorry, units. No, not pips in the units in with the NAS 100. Sorry, I get into the habit of calling them pips, but they're not pips. They're units. But because the volume kicked in, it went from there 24,663 all the way down to there, which is the equivalent of like about 4 pips in the forex world, and that's purely because you um, the New York Stock Exchange open. So you've got to give it that room to be able to adjust. So basically, if you'd have got in like, well, no, that wouldn't have happened. But if you got in there, so you got in there, jumped in because all of a sudden it spiked and you would have been out. You've got to stick to where you put your stop loss, which is there, 2,000 units, which is there. And your 2%, which is there. And with the volume, down she goes. But you've got to make sure you're a minimum of 2,000 units. And trust the indicators and trust the process. Cellular, red volume ribbon, red trend, red wave. Down we go. Anyway, so we are got something in chat. Chris says, "Hi David, is there a way of setting the trading box on TradingView to pop up with the 2-to-1 preset like Steve just did in MT4? Is there a way of setting the trading box on TradingView? Right, let's give it a go. Let's try a short position. 2,000 units. Actually, that's an interesting video. If Steve's not on or has seen the video this morning, I will mention it to him. Let's just settings. Template, save as. Let's just call it a test. One. Save. Okay. So come off that again. Remove that. So next time we go to short position, we go into settings, template, look for test one, and there we go. And there it is. So it's there already with the 2-to-1 for you to go at 20 units. I'll do that again, but with a buy. So if you go long position, this is the long position one. So you go 20 units. And don't forget, you can still move these around. Anyway, so if you go to 20 units, which is fiddly. You know. There, 2%, which is there. Now we go into right click, go into settings, and then you go into it's just templates, save as, and we'll call this one test 2. And save. Press OK. So next time you go in for a buy, you long position. Now that's nothing now. That's 28.7 or whatever. But all you do is you go right click here, go into the settings, your template, look for test 2, which is there. That's okay. And now you've got your long position. In actual fact, you can actually change that by going to settings. I want to save it as by 2000, which makes more sense because you'll understand that more. And you press OK. And actually, that I think I should have done this a long time ago. Come on, oh, got to get it precise. I'm making it bigger so hopefully I can. There we go. 2 to 1. Yep, 2 to 1. So now I go into settings, template, and save as sell 2000. So I know what it is. And now I can, even now I can go into settings and I'll delete the test ones I did. Delete that one. Yep, I want to remove that one. And where's my cell? Test 2. Where did that go? Oh, I don't know. Anyway. So now, remove. So just bear with me. So we'll remove that one. That's the one I made. So all I do now is go into settings. Where's my cell 2000? There it is. And replace it with that. And there we go. Thanks, it'll be quicker eventually. Yeah, it will, Chris. Yeah. Right, so I'll get Steve to, that'll be a good video to sort of do that. And you could actually do that on the EUR USD. So here we are on the EUR USD. And say we want to I'd like to keep a minimum of 2.2 pips away, so I'll go to long position. I'll just do this one for really quick. 2.2 pips away. Again, I'll make it a bit bigger so you guys can see and all that stuff. So if I go, that's 2.2 pips there, 2.2, make it 2 to 1, 2 to 1. Then I can go into settings, template, save as, by 22. 22 means 2.2. So I'll save that. Okay. Get rid of that one a minute. And I'll just do one more. So I go for the short position. Again, keeping 2.2 pips away, minimum. Obviously I changed these. There we go. But that's the minimum I want. And then I go settings, save as, cell 22 with 2.2, save, press OK. So, like I say, remove that. So if I was, now we're in the buy zone. So say I wanted to get in here, I would go short position, then I'd go into settings, cell 22, and it's already got 2.2 pips away. So I know I'm a minimum of 2.2 pips away, but obviously I wouldn't be getting into it till I got down here. Well, you just wouldn't, but 8.5 pips say you got in there, and then you go for your 2 to 1, which would be down way down there. But you know what I mean. I've already got it with 2.2 pips minimum. So anyway, that's how you mark them up on TradingView. Okay, guys. So nice to see you all on here. No other questions at the minute. So thanks very much for coming along today. Have a great day, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.